Hey, whoop! What's up? It's a Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm on to my second review, and I'm going to be reviewing Japanese Breakfast's Jubilee. Japanese Breakfast, aka Michelle Zauner, is back with Jubilee, and this is her sophomore album, and it is another really sweet and blissful indie pop album. The album opens off with Paprika, which is easily one of the strongest album openers I've heard all year, in my opinion. It's got the marching drums, grand horns, the vocals are really young and lively unexpectedly. It's so bright and sharp, and it just bursts through the seams. The instrumentals have this very 70s vintage vibe to it, yet at the same time very blissful, very sweet. And the lyrics are also really well written, talking about feeling lonely, yet at the same time getting all the attention, feeling like an artist. And then we have the track Be Sweet, which is also a really solid song, really well written hooks and really nice vocals. It has a nice groovy 80s inspired disco flavored pop aesthetic to it, which is really nice. Kokomo, Indiana has a dreamy, nostalgic chord progression, and you know me. If a song has a dreamy, nostalgic chord progression, I cannot resist it. It's automatically a win. And that's basically what happened to this song. It's a summery guitar song with nice strings, and I also really like the sincere, lovesick lyrics. And we also have the track Slide Tackle, which is more low-key than other tracks on the album, but it's still really danceable. It's a nice little guitar pop tune with a saxophone solo in the middle of the track, which adds some flavor to it. Once again, the vocals are really soft and really lovely, and easily the strongest element that carries the entire album from track to track to track. We have the track Posing in Bondage, which is more of a dramatic, atmospheric song with ambient tones, spacey beats, and this is, in my opinion, one of the weaker songs on the entire album. I think mostly because it is not as memorable as far as the hooks and the choruses go, even though I appreciate the direction that Japanese Breakfast is going for on this track. The pitched vocals that are tacked onto her vocals during the verses are a little bit awkward sounding, unfortunately. And then we have the track Sit, which is very shoegazy, kind of a baroque pop track. And shoegazy should be in Japanese Breakfast wheelhouse, except on this track, it does come off really mild, really tame. The songwriting and the song structure just isn't as punchy or as immediate as other tracks on the album. The track Savage Good Boy, however, is another highlight on the album for me. And lyrically, it is actually kind of funny, almost satirical, where Japanese Breakfast sings from the point of view of like a husband from like the 1950s, like an American husband, where he wants to come back home and meet his wife and make a lot of money. And the ending of the song lyrically also gets very dramatic and apocalyptic, which is really funny. And instrumentally, it has these nice, steady rock flavors to the track, which is very interesting sounding and also very sweet and nice and driving. Actually, that's the word I'm looking for. And then we have the track In Hell, which is on the surface a cutesy indie pop tune with a nice keyboard solo in the middle, but actually lyrically it is about anticipating someone's death, and it's actually way more impactful and even traumatic at points lyrically in this track. Then we have Tactics, which is a beautiful slow ballad with gorgeous strings. It is really relaxing, really soft, and also a really nice track on the track list. And the album ends off with Posing for Cars, which is at first an acoustic ballad, but slowly building up to an epic finale of sorts. And there's a nice little guitar solo in the middle. But I guess one thing about this track is that it doesn't have to be 6.5 minutes long. It just feels a little bit more dragged than it could have not been. You know, if it's more tightly written and tightly structured or anything. But yeah, overall, I don't have much to say about this album other than it is definitely one of the better albums released this year so far. It is a really compelling, really driving, sweet indie pop album with great lyricism. Some lyrics here are straight up poetic. The instrumentals are really well done, and I'm liking it a lot. Favorite track here is Paprika. My least favorite is Sit. I'm giving Japanese Breakfast's Jubilee a decent 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to the latest album from Japanese Breakfast from 1 to 10? Which is rated, like, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. I will be reviewing Chai, probably Cemetery, probably Portal, probably. I'll definitely be reviewing Mirror and another Hong Kong band, which I will not disclose now. Actually, I can, but I won't because it's for a surprise. And I will be reviewing maybe Migos Culture 3 at some point in the future. Backswash, definitely. And maybe Amdal Mokhtar.